And we're back here on the Cardinals Nest. Dean Beckman, Donnie Netto, Nick Winecke joining us, the head baseball coach for the Cardinals. Nick, thanks for being on the show. And you were off camera watching during that last segment, and you're probably hearing all these teams going to Florida. You're probably checking your plane ticket, make sure you got the right state. You're going to Arizona this year, right?
Yep, this will be our 4th year going down there. So we made the switch my first year here, and really thought it was a good situation for us. We like it down there a lot, so it's a good spot to be at.
And you also heard the softball team had one game in the Rochester Dome. I know you've been scheduled to practice there. Have you gotten in any practices over in Rochester?
Yeah, we were out there about 2 weeks ago, and we're actually going out there tonight. So we were supposed to go out there last night, and the weather sort of put a damper on that, so we're going to go out there this afternoon. So
let's talk a little bit. You start practice February 1. You've got to be chomping at the bit now to get outside and start playing. I mean, you can only do so much in the batting cage and in the Rochester Dome. How eager are these guys to get on that plane and get to where they can actually play ball?
Yeah, I think they're antsy. I think they're just antsy to get out there and play against somebody else. They've worked extremely hard so far, but I think we're at the moment we're ready to go play a different team and see what we can do. So,
talk a little bit about when you mentioned you're going over to the Rochester Dome tonight. What can you do there that you can't do in the RAC at St. Mary's?
Yeah, we can pretty much play. We can pretty much do everything we would do in a normal game. Minus a couple balls hitting off the ceiling here or there, but we can really get a lot done. We get a lot of work done, fly balls, obviously what we can't do inside. So it's a good tune-up before we fly out on Saturday.
Nick, we got the schedule up there on the screen. Talk about some of the teams you'll be playing here on the trip. I know you haven't done a lot of scouting, but you've got Northern State University, Benedictine University out of Springfield, Concordia, Simpson, and Albright College. So what do you know about some of these opponents?
Yeah, Northern State D2, so they're a scholarship school, so it should be a good test for us right off the bat. Benedictine's an NAIA school, so you really just never know with that. And then we go against some pretty good teams. Concordia, Illinois is a top 25 team. And then we have Simpson, who finished in the middle of the pack in the Iowa Conference. And then we end up with Albright and then Lewis and Clark to end the trip. So very good trip for us against some good quality teams, and we'll see how our guys do.
You played against Concordia last year down in Arizona. Does it help that you played them last year? Does it make a difference as you head into this year?
I don't think it really makes a difference. They're a good quality team. They finished real well last year. They're going to be tough again this year. They returned a couple key guys. So we just got to go out there and compete. And for us, we always talk about we really don't play the other uniform. We just play the game. So usually the winner of the baseball game is going to be the team that makes the least amount of mistakes, and that's our goal.
You mentioned that Concordia didn't, they returned a lot of top guys. Let's talk about you guys, because if you look at your lineup this year, it's certainly going to look a little different than it did last year.
Yeah, we graduated a decent chunk out of our lineup. We're very, very young as a program. We only have 3 seniors right now, which is a good thing. I think the younger guys have really stepped up. We played a lot of freshmen last year that are now sophomores. So they're a pretty experienced bunch when it comes to that, just a little bit younger. A lot of sophomores, a lot of juniors. So we're looking for them to step up.
Talk about the seniors a little bit and what they bring, not only on the field but also off the field.
Yeah, it's a wide variety of the 3 of them. They all have very different personalities. So they can sort of be able to touch base with all the younger guys, be able to connect with them all in a different way. I'd say probably Kurt Swanson is the most vocal, the most name recognition out of them. But I think each of them do something that's a little different and do something better than the other guy does. So it's been a great group so far. They've done an awesome job, all 3 of them.
Kurt had a great year last year, and you speak about him being the vocal one. It's kind of fitting that he's the catcher, because really on the baseball field you got to take charge, and that's usually the person that does that. Talk a little bit about what Kurt does so well, because he's improved every single year. Last year he had a great year as a junior.
Yeah, we're expecting him to have another big year. We sort of have worn him out over the past 3 years a little bit. If you look at his numbers halfway through the MIAC season, he sort of starts to run out of gas a little bit. And that's my fault. That's not his fault. We're asking him to play a lot of innings. But he really attacked it through the offseason. When we sat down and I said, hey, I don't know if we're going to be able to catch the innings, he gave me a look like, okay, I'll show you. And that's exactly what you want him to do. He competes really hard, and he's harder on himself than anybody else, but you got to love those kind of players. So.
You mentioned the strong sophomore class. Who specifically are some of the sophomores, juniors you're looking to step up and not only play a lot of innings, but also fill some of that leadership role that with only 3 seniors, you have to look to some of the underclassmen to do?
Yeah, I think a couple juniors, Vince Luke, who's been a big part of our program the last 2 years. Vinny will be out in the outfield. He just brings, he just competes every single day. Vince shows up. He shows up to work. I think on the pitching staff from the junior side, Justin Cronenbush is a name to watch out for a little bit. I think Justin's done a good job of working hard through the offseason, putting himself in a position to be successful. And then a couple of the sophomores, Paul Anasa has really stepped up, become a leader. He played about half the games last year. John Schlemmer, we need to continue to have a great year. John led us in RBIs last year, and he didn't play the last 8 games in the conference. So we're expecting him to continue to keep on going and not only mature physically, but mentally as well.
You know, I think one of the things I've always found with your teams is versatility. And you mentioned Vince being out in the outfield. He's a perfect example. In Arizona last year, he was at third base.
Yeah.
And then an injury happened, and I remember you asking him, can you go play outfield? And he kind of looked at you a little bit and said, okay, I can do that. And I mean, that's important for your team because you're not real deep in terms of numbers. You don't have a 40-man roster, so it's important for people to be able to play more than one position.
Yeah, I think, you take a look just at Vince himself. He came in as a catcher coming in out of high school and moved into third, and now he plays the outfield for us. And very well easily could come back into the infield. I'm a huge fan of having guys be able to play multiple positions, can do a lot of different things. I also think that's the fun part of playing, is be able to play all these different positions. And the more positions you know how to play, the better player you're going to be, because you're going to know the game mentally as well as physically. So it's a big part of it.
As you look to heading into your trip to Arizona, strength-wise, what's the strength of this Cardinal team?
I think right now our ability to swing the bats a little bit. I think we're going to put up some runs. I like this team from top to bottom. We have some guys, don't be shocked if you see a lot of different lineups down there. And I think the overall team speed is going to be critical for us. And I really do think our pitchers are going to surprise some people a little bit. It's a good group that has worked extremely hard and really has taken it to heart and really set out for a goal this year to accomplish. And if we can throw the ball over the plate, I think we're going to be able to play a little defense. We're going to be able to score some runs.
Nick, this is going to go back to Donnie's versatility question, but I remember your first year as head coach. We had you on the program. We asked you your recruiting philosophy, and I remember you saying, I don't recruit third basemen, second basemen, I recruit baseball players. And I think now, as some of those recruits are entering their sophomore, junior seasons, we're seeing that pay off.
Yeah, I think it's just a valuable tool. I always tell the guys it's my belief that I want to be able to get you on the field as much as I can while still helping the team. And the more positions you can play, obviously, the better chance you have to get on the field. And we talk all the time, the most important 4-letter word in our program is team. What is the best thing for this team to do? Might not be me individually, but as a team, how can I help the team be successful? And I think that's our goal, and that's the goal of the 30 guys in our locker room.
Talk one last time about the trip itself. Obviously you're going down there to play baseball, and I think you've always referred to it. This is a business trip. This isn't a vacation. But there is an important aspect of this trip that really has nothing to do with baseball.
Oh, it's critical. You look back, just on my own personal experience, you remember these trips for the rest of your life. You remember who you roomed with. You remember all the things that you did. And we do have a lot of fun. I just told the guys 2 nights ago, hey, we're not going down on vacation. But at the same time, we're going to have some fun. And they will have fun just being around each other. It's a very, very close group. And I think it's just a critical part of how the team comes together.
Are you going to get to a Cactus League game or two?
Yeah, actually we are. We're going to the Angels spring training game on Wednesday. I believe it's the 6th. So
well, as a St. Louis Cardinals fan, could you heckle Pujols for me, please?
We might only see him throwing that bat, and he'll be out of the game, so
Nick,
it won't be too bad.
Just 30 seconds left. Want to congratulate you. A lot of people may not know you are an amateur baseball champion this year, right? Tell us
Something along
about
those
that.
lines. Yeah, it was a fun summer. We had the opportunity to play on a team full of really good guys and really good baseball players. Just sort of a team that sort of just put it all together. And it's still nice to get out there and play a little bit. And sometimes you forget coaching how hard the game is. And it sort of puts it back into your place a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you guys won the state tournament, though.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good opportunity. I pretty much have played in it every year that I've played, and this is the first time that we've been able to win it. But it was just a lot of good guys, and it was just a lot of fun.
All right, Nick, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck down in Arizona.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for watching the Cardinals Nest here on HBC.